Hello and welcome to the Kobold Cafe. Today we are playing GURPS 4th edition, the Homebrew Supers Adventure Upsilon Transcending. I am Luke the GM. Today we have got, who've we got? Any order, any at all. Terra.
Hey, I'm Tara. I play Lily, who's having a nervous breakdown right now.
Very nice. We've got Z Warrior.
Hey, I'm the Warrior. I play Trent, the math teacher.
We've got Lee.
Hi, I'm Lee. I play Audrey, who's worried that this is going to get in the way of an internship.
We've got Jared.
Hey, I'm Jared. I play Matthias. I don't quite know what happened to him last time.
You'll find out. We've got Colin.
Hi, I play Guy. That's pronounced by almost everybody else as Guy. And everything bad that happens to people this time is possibly his fault.
Maybe it always were.
Or destined to be.
We've got...
He's the reason the government came after Matthias back in France.
Mm-hmm. Well, he
Did
can't...
he cause the blight?
He can't be held responsible for anything that occurred before a certain time, you know. He weren't born yet. We've got Everoth.
Hello, I'm Evra. I play Lucius, your run-of-the-mill, nerdy, weird guy.
Very nice. And last but not least, the murderer. We've got James.
Hey, I'm James. I play Sigrid. And Sigrid, we kind of, yeah, Sigrid. we played the fight last time. Sigrid, I believe, is right about waking up from getting her ass handed to her.
Aye, that would be where we'd start. Yeah, no, that is where we should start for a very quick scene. If you're detecting some anxiety, though, amongst a couple of the people, it's because there was very illegal vigilante action took place last session on Monday, the 21st of December. They arranged a Yakuza meet. Seemed to be a setup. Who'd have known that they'd know that phone had been stolen, and whoever were using it weren't the right person to be using it. Unfortunately, they didn't have many places to arrange this capture, interrogation, slaughter, whoever was using the phone. And it ended up having to be a place where they were keeping some stuff they'd rather you didn't get your hands on. They probably also would have rather not got murdered by you. But that happened to a couple of them also. And given that one of you left your blood all over the scene, another one was just walking around putting blue airs all over the place, and the last of you tipped off just about the only person who could figure out it were you.
She had an in. Oh, she had a buddy. It's not her fault she's kind of an idiot.
And it's culminated in court summons for vigilante behaviour, which is a pretty serious crime. During that vigilante behaviour, you did meet someone who seems to be affiliated with the Yakuza, who challenged Sigrid to a fight this very morning. Sigrid is now recovering from that fight, having lost a lot of blood. There's just a... yeah. This mountaintop is stained. It was right here where it took place.
All right. Probably like a limb, like just hanging out over there.
Oh yeah, the new one's slowly starting to grow back.
It's back when she reaches full HP. But yeah,
So by the end of this sentence,
yeah, pretty much. She'll sit up like, oh, she left. This is Norse, by the way.
I can't remember who were watching this fight. I think most of you. Maybe even Matthias as well. He'd be back in the fold by now.
I think Audrey planned on being there.
Yeah, definitely.
We're not missing that, bro.
Since I had to miss it when you were playing it after last session, I'm just gonna go ahead and say that Guy misses it.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah, she left. Are you okay?
Yeah. Breakfast?
Yeah, sure. We should probably get you something to wear, though.
No, I brought something.
This
Holds up
happens a
her-
lot, doesn't it? As she heads with you for breakfast.
Yeah. You know. Getting fight, gonna bleed. I figure this time. Clothes.
Since
Should
Monday
just-
night, you've been walking around with that duffel bag with like 3 sets of spare clothes and a load of axes in it.
Yeah.
You know, most fights these days don't end with people bleeding, right?
Cocks the head over at you and looks inquisitively. Oh?
Yeah, usually people don't use weapons.
Except everybody we've been fighting for the last, like, 3 weeks.
Actually, a couple days. It's only been. It's still Saturnalia.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
It's
been like a
Saturnalia?
week. It's been like a week?
week
is
and
that
a
it?
half, nearly 2.
Week and a half?
I think it might
Okay,
have been
but-
12 or 13 days.
That's 2 weeks. Almost everybody fight with weapon.
It's definitely been weird since you woke up. Like, it wasn't like that for the months before.
No, what I see, I don't change.
You're gonna get arrested. It's not like you can take everyone. Like, other people have powers here.
Yeah, we shall see. Anyhow, I'm hungry.
Exactly. Let's go find some bottomless pancakes.
Pancakes?
You're in for a treat.
I think the name would be actually pretty obvious to Sigurd.
Pancakes?
Cakes in a pan.
Yeah.
So a pie?
Pancakes!
Pancakes. We destroy
Breakfast.
entirely too many pancakes for people of our size.
Oh, absolutely. Although it's probably not as weird on this island.
That's true.
Like, they just know for a goddamn fact that we are, at least one of us is a meta.
Yeah, it won't be anything beyond a memorable morning shift for someone who will like, yeah, I don't normally do 50 pancakes for a person.
We definitely abused that special.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, for a lack of throttle, let's go back in time to Monday night. Matthias gets dropped off by Lily at his accommodation to get his outfit.
Okay.
Lily's going to a few more places and disappears and says she'll be back for you in 5 minutes and to meet like in just round the corner or something.
Matthias's heart hurts after 10 minutes.
Do you get changed or put the clothes in a bag?
Yeah, he was wearing the clothing.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you head down this dark corner and there is a pretty distinct out of place car there.
Out of place in what way?
It's not like most of the standard modern electric vehicles on Nirvana. It looks like it might be the oldest one on the island. It's quite rusty in a few places. It's got to be at least 30 years old. The badge is memorable.
Do cars in Nirvana have front plates or just back plates?
Both front and back.
Okay, whichever side's closer to Matthias, are the plates like right for Nirvana?
Yeah, it's got Nirvana standard plates.
He's sad and trying to keep his mind off it. He'll walk over and investigate the car.
Mm-hmm. I thought you were just going to ignore the car for a second. Have you forgot entirely? You've got a pair of keys. A set of keys for a car.
Oh. Well, he won't grab them yet.
You're wily.
Is there any... sorry?
You spot something. There's something on the back seat. It's almost impossible to see in the darkness, but there is the shape of a person in there hiding underneath a blanket, it looks like.
Is there any way to tell how long the car has been there?
No. But you feel like you would have noticed it because you walk past here every day. It's just around the corner from your house.
Okay, and final thing, does the car in some way match the keys in any way?
Yes, the badge.
Like aesthetically? Okay.
They've got
That will prompt Matthias to grab the keys and try unlock.
Whatever's on the back seat does not move as you put the keys in, twist them, and the little thing pops up to show the door unlocking.
Oh, right, you have to like physically put keys in cars, in old cars.
It's the 90s.
And this car's from the 50s, I think. It's probably got a choke and 4 gears.
Hello?
And all 4 of them on the column.
This silence.
Are you alright?
And then the figure sits up. And you recognize him. It's the little person that came round to Lily Dunning's apartment that one time. He seemed to be a high-level official.
Out of character. Morrison?
Out of character, yeah. Jack Mawson is in the back of Matthias's car.
I don't think Matthias was there for that. That was when they were being investigated for stuff after they
that's true.
did that, and Matthias was the only one who actually went home and wasn't there to be made suspicious.
That's my bad. It should still be Mawson, though. He'd want to do this himself.
Okay, there's a weird guy.
Yeah, weird guy that you don't see before. He says, "Get in. This is your car, isn't it?"
Who are you?
He pulls out an ID card. Surge, Special Emergency Response Group, Special Investigator. Jack Mawson.
I've never seen this car before.
It's registered in your name.
Oh, where would I have gotten such a car?
was imported, according to these quite in-depth documents here. It arrived shortly after you did, it seems.
I've never heard of this brand. Where was it imported from?
He looks, and it's like sliding down. Belarus.
Never been. Get in the back or the front?
Either's fine for me. When you get in driver's seat, you can take us somewhere. And he's starting to climb from the back over
No,
the...
this is why it's not my car. I can't drive.
He frowns. But your license is right here amongst these papers.
I have no driver's license.
He holds it out to you. You do now, pal. It's quite a nifty outfit you've got there. You're planning on going somewhere tonight, are you? Io Saturnalia.
Matthias will just get into the back.
He's like, oh, I feel like a... Alright, he climbs in driver's seat. Have you got keys, at least?
They're here.
Ta.
And I'll hand them to him.
Mm-hmm. It's a shame this thing got converted, honestly. I would have loved to have drive it with its original 2-stroke, 1-cylinder engine. I bet it had quite the power behind it. It's 70 centiliters. He sounds heavily sarcastic as you hear the hum of the electric motor.
That might not be noticeable to Matthias, who is not a car person at all.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. You'd be better off not going with your friends tonight, Matthias.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No. Keep it that way.
Why are you here?
I've already had a bit of a conversation with someone I think you're familiar with, Mr. Brightmore.
Yes.
I asked him to come down and see me. In an official capacity. But he's going a different route with it, it seems. I want to do the same with you.
You want me to visit you?
Mm-hmm. In an official capacity. I'd like you to sign up for a little program we have for under 18s. And I'd also like you to keep tabs on your friends for me.
Ah. Well, about the under 18 thing, that's only for a few more weeks.
That's fine, as long as you signed up before. There aren't really any things to attend in that program. We just need
Why
your name
do
on a
you
list.
want me to spy on my friends?
Because I think they're going to do something dangerous. Even more dangerous than what they're planning tonight. And I think they know a person that does not belong.
Cigarette?
I think she's maybe the only one you can trust. He, glances at you occasionally in the rearview mirror.
How do I know you'll do the right thing? If I tell you stuff.
He shrugs.
And what if I don't? I came here so I wouldn't be forced to do things by the government.
He nods. Lots of people did, kid.
So what if I refuse?
He shrugs. Nothing right now. Of course, you are a little behind on the road tax payments for this vehicle, it seems. Arrears of 1 month.
I
can cover that for you, if you're willing to help me out. But aside from that, aside from taking your car, there's nothing I'm gonna do to you at this moment, Matthias.
at this moment.
I'm concerned that you're gonna do something that'll make you a risk to the general public on this island, much like your friends are doing right now.
I see. Just to note that disadvantage has a really bad name for what it actually is. It's actually about how law-abiding you are. All right. What would I have to tell you?
I just want to know if they're planning anything dangerous. There's things that the public doesn't know about this island and about what goes on here.
The Yakuza.
Ah, the tip of the iceberg.
If I spy on them, it would be weird if I somehow missed everything, every event. So what if I went with them to some place when I was spying on them for you? Would I be immune to trouble from that? If things got bad?
He nods. But he doesn't give any kind of verbal confirmation. But he waits until your eyes lock with his in the mirror before he does a very forceful nod.
Right, but I need you to say it because this needs to be a verbal contract. Matthias doesn't say. How will I contact you?
He gives you a card. Weird number scribbled on it.
All right.
You can ring that number anytime. Just leave a message.
Well, there's already one thing I can tell you.
Oh,
The troublemaker. I don't really know him. He just showed up a little while ago, a few days ago. He has some problems with the Yakuza.
he holds up a picture of Guy.
Yeah,
Yeah. We don't know who this person is.
he's not a citizen?
We aren't sure. He's not left.
How old is he?
We don't know.
Creepy.
He nods.
All right. I guess this is it. Okay. I accept.
He smiles.
Is there a place to get driving lessons?
He like, it's just. I don't know. Neither me nor Mawson knows. He says, I don't know. School? Yeah. I'll put you on a driver awareness course. They'll sort you out.
All right. Thank you. I'll call you when I have something, I guess.
He nods. He says, watch out for the American as well. Heart. Have you claimed asylum yet, Audrey?
She has not.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Audrey?
Yeah. She's still an American citizen.
Does Nirvana require you to give up your citizenship to obtain it?
No, not necessarily. But if you want certain metahuman protections, you would have to.
Ah.
She could legally live on the island almost indefinitely. But to become a citizen of Nirvana in any formal capacity and gain the benefits of its social services, then she'd need to claim asylum.
She's paying for that fucking mansion out of her own pocket.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
did you think it was government granted?
Watch out.
Well,
For,
no. But
it should be government stolen. Split up into 5 smaller houses for people. Turned into a hospital.
I assume at around this point, they end up right where they started. In the car ride.
Yeah. Uh-huh. You sent a message to Lily, he says, like, as he's getting out. You told her you had cold feet tonight.
Okay.
They aren't suspicious.
So they didn't forget me then.
No. I intervened.
Matthias will just kind of awkwardly grab the keys and walk off.
Alrighty.
And I guess go read.
I wonder if anyone would tell you about Sigurd's fight. I wonder if anyone would tell you that they've all been summoned. Well, not all of them.
There's probably a text message about the fight.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, I think Lily sent a few group texts to everyone that Matthias would have still been involved in. Group texts. Do they exist? I don't think so. CC. Spending an over every minute.
All
It's
right.
not her money.
And where is this?
The fight, it's already happened. It was just south of the research
Ready for time
center.
travel.
Sigrid got her ass kicked, slashed to bits. She's now eating a crap ton of pancakes. It is the day of your court hearing, which will be this afternoon. I believe Trent's represented himself.
Is this the next day from what just happened?
2 days after.
Okay.
Has everyone been told about the court hearing? So I vaguely recall not knowing about it.
Yeah, maybe you didn't know about it at all.
Would Lucius know about it? I mean, he wasn't even seen there as he was a shadow, mostly.
It's entirely possible that at dinner last night, Sigrid was like, "Oh, Lily, we got that court thing."
Just
court thing.
yeah, we gotta go talk to some people. It's not a big deal. Lies. I took acting last week.
Aren't your parents really smart?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna fail.
No, Lily, it was because we fought the Yakuza the other day. And your government seems to have, or your kingdom seems to have.
Don't know what you're talking about, Sigurd. Kick under table really hard.
I don't even know how Mila would react to this. I feel like she needs to already know and have just been keeping it a secret to avoid not just murdering you immediately.
Or she doesn't know and is gonna have a mom coronary. You know the ones I'm talking about.
Yeah. Just... Excuse me? Excuse me? You did it again? Or is this related to the first time? Are you... Do you just not tell me anything now?
I didn't fight anyone.
Okay. But you've been summoned to court.
Yes.
tomorrow.
Yes.
Have you spoken to our lawyer?
Yes.
She's already like walking over to the phone.
I've been talking the wrong voice. But Ma, it's you don't need to worry. I didn't do anything other than call the correct authorities when bad things started happening.
She's like
And maybe dropping some fireworks.
phone on her way to her head, and then she's like, "Would you should have received some post about this? Where is it?"
The lawyer has it, not a lie.
She's like, "Oh my God, Lily, why are you doing this to me? At 8 p.m. the day before this is meant to happen. Do you know how expensive this phone call is going to be?"
Then don't call her.
It's just like face changes, canines grow 3 inches. She hisses. Acid spits from underneath her tongue.
I just glare at Sigrid.
I think Sigurd just beams a big smile at you.
No, this isn't like fun time glare. This is pure unadulterated hatred. I'm gonna murder you glare.
She didn't look happy, Sigrid.
Sigurd's just continuing to eat. What?
I will end you.
Mila's now screaming down the phone at your lawyer. I forgot her name.
Oh shit! I'd have to jump back into another. I can get it.
We'll find out at some point. But yeah, just
I'm gonna get it.
what? Why didn't you tell me? You've known for nearly 24 hours and you haven't told me.
What do you mean? She's your client, I assume is what's said next.
You cut out. What do you mean she's
Your client.
your client? In fact, yeah, because I'm sure Lily's made her views very clear to a lawyer. She's. You know what? In fact, it turns she takes the phone and goes into another room, and you hear this screaming match that lasts 10 minutes. Ray looks really worried. She's like, Lily, this is not good.
I'm fine. Everything's fine. We're all good. Like, we're all good. Mom, this Oma's more dumber than Mom.
Mm-hmm. She's just like, oh, if you say so. But she's like washing dishes and looking worried. And then finally, Mila just reappears. You hear her office door slam. She storms round corner and points at the reception. She says, "Get out of my house, Lily.
What?
I don't want you in here. You've made your mind up. You can call university accommodation. They'll find somewhere for you. I don't want to see you here for the time being."
Oh, it is on. Mom, I called the authorities like I was supposed to. What was I supposed to do?
She gives you the look that you just gave Sigrid. Tell me. She points at her chest.
Tell you what?
That you've been summoned to court. If you want
And
to,
have you do this?
if you want to live in this house, you need to tell me these things, Lily. I'm going to lose the deputyship over Sigrid.
And that there's my fault?
No, it's mine.
Gonna do the stare off, but she's probably gonna win.
She just goes to her bedroom. It lasts for about a minute of the most awkward Ray's ever seen in a life. You can hear her heart beating. And then Mila just goes to her bedroom.
I won. I'm not leaving.
Ray follows her.
And yeah, I'm gonna go. Sigrid or Red, you need to learn to keep your goddamn mouth shut now and then.
Honesty always wins over in the end.
Sigrid's on sofa.
She says in Old Norse. I'm not even gonna roll. I know exactly what she was saying.
Sigrid's just sat watching telly with a bottle of mead or some shit.
If she's sitting on, I'm getting a bunch of filling up a damn bucket or something with a bunch of ice water floating up behind her and just dumping it.
Sigrid.
Ugh. Ugh.
It's cold.
You're very cold. Go take a shower and go to bed.
Bitch.
I've just got more
And there's the lawyer's name.
in my face in 100 different places. I will never forget this lawyer's name again now. Rule of 3.
And her 1, 2, 3, 4 daughters.
Yep. Lovely. Trent, I believe your plan is to represent yourself.
Yep.
I think you've all been asked.
Is he immune to the rules because he was traveling and therefore he was not his own identity, the identity that government says he has?
Okay.
Because he is himself a sovereign citizen?
Nonny.
I don't know.
He is a
We're
citizen,
gonna find out.
but I think
It's an American law thing. People who believe they're outside the law.
okay.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
It's a defense somebody could attempt. And
Is this
most certainly
how
fail.
you? Is this how you?
They generally
steal
represent
things from
themselves in
Parliament?
court.
This is
get
a
away with it?
libertarian thing.
Okay. I hope Trent's not a libertarian, but just for the sake of the future of Nirvana more than anything. But yeah, Trent, I think you've all been asked to attend.
Yeah. Trent will attend.
A Trent.
Yeah.
It's just a
Yeah.
court hearing. Send B Trent.
Do I need to send all of them?
Yeah, they've asked for all of them.
Wouldn't the compliance to have one member of each part of the city would mean that one Trent is also part of the jury?
No, I think that.
If it's really a trial by your peers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am the jury.
That's not what's.
Yet. Ah! Spinning lightsaber attack.
Yeah, no, just a Trent's gonna show up.
Okay.
Who do these people think they are? Telling Trent what to do.
It's just
They probably just want to know how many of you there are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've requested that you all show up.
What was that directed at Trent?
Trent's and everyone who got a letter. I'm thinking at this time as well, so moments of silence aren't filled with the quizzical shape of my eyebrows as I consider things.
Consider for a moment, Luke. And now, consider an eyebrow, shaped quizzically, as though you were pondering something. There, I fixed it for you, Luke.
Thank you. It says that while attendance is not mandatory, a decision may be made in your absence. That would be unfavorable to you without representations. So take that as you wish and don't go if you don't want. But I think we can get around to that time. Audrey and Lucius, you must have been tipped off about this happening. Guy,
Yeah.
I know you were there when Trent got his letter.
But
Lucius,
it's
you haven't
Lucius.
been summoned at all, by the way.
Yeah, he's just gonna be like there for them, but he's just gonna be on the back bar with the rest of the people. Probably smoking a cigarette outside the Congress. Oh, sorry, the court when they arrive already there.
Audrey will volunteer to translate for Sigrid, and frankly, she's kind of curious how it's going to go down.
Uh-huh. It is a public thing, you know. There'll be a gallery that anyone who wants to could attend, really.
So, sitting up in the gallery.
And
What time of day does it happen?
it was early afternoon. I think I said like just after lunch, probably 2 p.m.
Cool.
Guy will pop in there after things get going.
Classic Guy.
Just, in the corner of the gallery.
I need to look at
Back
your
to a wall.
sheet. There's something important on it, I'm sure.
I mean, I feel like everything on my sheet is important in some way.
Yeah. It is very.
So I saw Lily's token move, so I assumed this is all taking place in Parliament.
It is indeed, yes.
That's on the west side of this island we're all on.
Correct. I pinned the location.
You did, and it really fucked with my token placement,
I'm glad.
asshole.
Sigurd
I saw
gets
that you
lost
went
on the way.
flying.
Oh.
And Parliament is a huge, huge building. It is very tall and also very deep, but
We have a
that's
picture.
less visible. Pictures inbound, old year horses.
All right, that's cool looking.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Prime target for an attack, I'm sure, but this building is defended in many fancy, sneaky architectural ways. I'm sure it can withstand a, magnitude 50 earthquake.
Also, every time a supervillain destroys it, they build it larger and more impressive, which is why it's gotten so good.
Yep, it's now impervious to over
Why they keep destroying
over 12 different varieties of super attack. Although it seems unlikely that the same inverted graviton cannon would be used again.
Don't ask why it's adapted to cheese.
Yes, the The enzyme in the sprinkler system that is able to remove cheese is there for novel reasons only.
So Lily is actually going to be there obsessively early.
Mm-hmm. Your lawyer won't even be showing up until 1:30, probably. To get there early to brief you on what you've decided you're going to say. Trent's represented himself, right? You can give me a law roll to make representations. Anyone represented yourself? Lily and Sigrid, I'll be doing it on your behalf through your representative.
Gonna dump 12 points into that.
Prior to the actual trial or court meeting, Audrey is going to bring her lawyer up to speed also. The lawyer won't be there, but she'll at least brief them.
Well, in that case, Matthias is going to go find his lawyer and...
Everybody lawyer the
No, I'm
fuck
joking. Just why do y'all have lawyers?
up.
I'm American and rich.
Mm-hmm. Family lawyer on retainer. Probably half a company on retainer for Audrey's family.
Lawyers must have horrible teeth, always having retainers.
Can confirm.
Fortunately, they're tax deductible for them.
If only. Oh wow, just general Nirvana specific is still pretty decent success. Yeah, you feel well prepared for this, Trent. So, Sigrid, what time do you arrive?
I mean, they said it was what, 1? So, like,
2 p.m., but you should arrive 30 minutes before, so you probably arrive at 2 p.m.
okay, yeah.
In fact, no,
Sorry.
I bet Audrey brings you a bit earlier because Audrey offered to be a translator.
Oh, right.
So like 1:45?
Yeah.
Probably then.
Show up and see Lily there. Probably.
In time to get inside, but not in time to compare stories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unless that's your plan, and then...
A clerk opens the door to the...
What was our legal strategy?
So, this is just a pre-hearing thing, really. They'll be making a bunch of suggestions, and depending on how we want to respond to them, things will go from there, really. I mean, I don't know what they're going to suggest yet either, but I'm prepared for several eventualities. And she's already alleviated your fears about deportation, and Trent, you would have been able to alleviate any worries about that. Your lawyer is concerned that you may be slapped with a rather restrictive monitoring device for a while, and she's going to try and prevent that as well. But it is a very unique case, also. And that's why it's gone straight to this governmental hearing thing.
Great, shall we get on with it?
So you'd filter in. Trent's here, I'm sure, or a Trent. You'd have the little
Yep.
desk up at the front just for you lots. Further back, there is the gallery where plebes can sit.
At least it's not some Klingon shit where they're all elevated and hitting a rock against another rock.
Fair.
And people with current affairs can try and identify the folks who are sidling in at the front. There's a desk set up with 4 seats and microphones.
I mean, I succeeded, but I have pop culture, so I don't know if that actually counts.
It's -2 for the wrong one.
Then I fail.
I guess I make by 2. I mean by 2 less.
I gave my most relevant skill.
Nice.
One of them,
Other than perhaps combat news.
just about everyone recognizes because it's Jack Mawson. Don't need no roll for that. But he is the first to sidle in and sit up to a chair at the front desk.
Oh, hey, it's my handler.
Hi, handler.
Next up is... Even Lily recognizes this person because you're a slight bonus too. No picture, unfortunately, but she is of Indian heritage. Pemba Dompa, a member of the Politburo. She's a politician. She's a representative for the area in which your murders took place the other day.
I didn't murder anybody.
Allegedly.
I dropped a bag of fireworks.
More fireworks?
And Lily, you don't recognize this other person, but others do as the current, state head of Surge Operations, Marcella
Damn.
Vitalis. Equivalent of Chief of Police of the entire country. I don't know who that is in your weird country. I don't even know if you've got one. Because it gets changed, it gets sacked every 3 weeks or whatever.
We have a few.
Police are not a national thing, I don't think, in the US.
No, yeah, it's
So,
There are national law enforcement organizations, though.
Be like the head of
But,
the
like,
FBI.
yeah, head of the FBI. There we go. I don't know why that was so hard for me.
We have a few organizations, so there is no one person in charge.
Mm-hmm. And then finally, there's an extremely old-looking man who makes his way in and sits down at the desk, who none of you recognize. Infinity kilometers.
Infinity kilometers.
so people file in.
People file in, it gets started up, and Pemba will make opening statements. It does seem mostly empty, but I think you would notice that there's a few journalists here taking notes in the gallery, because this is an interesting possible hearing that cropped up on the calendars. All present, she'd ask, and reel you off. She'd be like, Trent Brightmore. I see. Very well. And then check Lily Dunning and Sigrid. Have you actually given a surname yet?
Sigrid?
Sigrid.
What, Brynjolf daughter?
Brynjolf daughter, that's it. You've been asked to attend this hearing in light of your recent behavior, that the state would argue resulted in the deaths of 2 people and the severe harming of a third.
Two. Remember the guy that took the axe and the one Audrey beat
Oh,
the snot out of?
yeah, and the severe bodily harm of a further 2. we believe that this was undertaken as part of premeditated vigilante action. A crime that has historically been carried with it high penalties under Nirvana law. And yeah, sorry, I'm blanking slightly because I'm struggling to just spit off some accurate sounding legalese at you.
That's fine. You
But
can
it
just skip
goes
that
on
bit.
for a ways, and then you're asked to make your initial representations, and Trent, you would be asked to go first.
Yeah, Trent goes
And presumably
first.
to say if they actually admit that they did stuff, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much we would like a witness statement from you. We would like to know what you were doing on that night, why we found these things that would suggest you were there at this place. What do you say happened? And it's up to Trent if he wants to give an accurate recount or not. Obviously.
Yeah, he is not gonna lie.
Okay.
He gives an accurate recount. Yeah.
Trent pretty much tells the whole truth.
Like, how far back, though? Are you omitting anything?
How far back she asked me to go?
When I was a young warthog.
Well, I mean, like,
I think they asked
the
what happened that
planning.
night.
You
like,
attended.
planning
You attended this dinner,
beforehand,
Mr. Brightmore. The head of the FBI equivalent, Marcella, speaks up. A dinner at Dunning Penthouse. You're an odd guest for this affair, don't you think?
No. I'm an odd guess for anything.
Raises an eyebrow. What was the purpose of the dinner? Were you invited to it?
Yes. I actually cooked the dinner.
This is true. And yeah, so it pretty much starts from the dinner, the questions, and then she leads on to, and how did you arrive at the decision to accompany them on this meeting? And so you'd mentioned Guy as well, then.
Yeah, I do mention Guy as well.
Uh-huh. They're all like, this Guy person seems to be the main instigator in this, according to your story, Trent Brightmar. And then they'd ask Lily for your story. Oh no, my mistake, it's Sigrid next. If I'm going alphabetical surname.
Yeah, good point.
Trent makes a point of making it awkward. Every time they ask something, the responses are always aimed at making them feel awkward about having asked it.
Give me
So you're being a snarky ass.
just give me a will check.
Yeah, I keep putting them in a difficult position where if they keep pressing, it's gonna be more and more evident how humiliating Trent can make it for them.
In fact, no, I feel like if you've got interrogation, give me that. Or maybe just straight IQ. So it's just a contest of
Snark.
language.
Will?
Yeah,
Yeah, this is
let's
perfect
just go
opportunity
will.
for Will.
So, aye.
Will.
But you
Go.
have every reason to be confident, I will tell you that.
Oh, he has 5 Williams.
Williams. Does each come with a Wish Wellington? Reference that no one will get. Not any watcher.
I think you're gonna luck this one
Okay.
just for the loss.
Just for the lols. perfect. You
By the way,
show
are
up.
we doing luck? You get X amount per session, or are we still doing the timer?
I don't know if this ever got put to a group vote.
It's been. I did timer last time I used it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good with either.
Yeah,
Same.
Timer works for me.
I feel like I'm good with either, but you should only use whichever you prefer, obviously. So if you'd
Cool.
rather use timer, that's fine by me. If you'd rather have the X amount, although I always forget what the X amount per session is.
Well, it depends on what your level of luck is, but if it's 1 hour, it's what you get 3 to 4.
Yeah.
Stick with the timer.
Yeah, we should probably go with timer for everyone that way, because otherwise people
That's
might
fine.
get more looks out of it if it ends up being a shorter session, etc.
Yeah. Cool. I just want to know which one we were doing.
Mm-hmm. It is a good thing to know. So yeah,
Thanks,
success
Jared.
by 7. Thanks, Jared.
I started a timer for him.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Z went to Jared.
Okay, but Sigrid.
Yeah, Sigurd will go up and
Tell the truth.
tell the honest to God truth.
All right. So, Audrey, you would not actually be asked to translate this because they have present a translator.
Nice.
But
Also, they can't trust you.
you are more than welcome to also act as translator as well, though. Kind of not, verbally, but just to raise any objections to the translating that's happening.
Fair.
But you don't actually feel you need to. The translator does as flawless a job as you think you do. Further questions for Sigrid? You're in a unique position, young lady. Although you are older than us by many years.
Is there a question there?
I'm thinking how to word it. What are your intentions going forward? You now clearly know that murder is not acceptable behaviour in this land that you found yourself in. You now know that you can't be using weapons against other people on this island. You can't be taking legal matters into your own hands. You can't just be looking for fights. How do you respond to all of this? What do you say to that? Do you have any respect for the laws of this land you've found yourself in at all?
I do.
And you intend to continue to live in this place? Do you like this place? You've only been here 2 weeks, but...
It's warm.
They'll nod and thank you for your time. And move on to Lily.
Who is doing the nervous fidget hands? Like, when you rub them together and just like squeeze. Just having trouble making eye contact with anyone in the room.
I should ask Trent and Sigrid as well. How much did you implicate Lily? Did you try and pin it all on Guy, or were you fully honest?
I think fully honest. Like, Sigurd's a truthful person.
Whoa.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Also totally clueless.
Mm-hmm. Trent, I think we already know, because Trent's answers have all been so awkward and strange that I don't think they really
I don't
got...
think. Oh no, Trent only saw Lily towards the end when the car was the guy's trying to leave with the car.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like I was all gung ho about when Guy was saying we should do this. She's like, "Yeah, let's do this. Yeah, yeah, yeah."
Yeah,
Uh,
that's the main
hyped
thing
up.
that I were wondering, because they would most likely focus on this conversation in particular, the one at the dinner party when Guy says so, and everyone rushes to join in.
Yeah, Trent will imply how rebellious teenager accomplishes more than the public security services.
Oh, so
Mm.
you're pissing them off for me. Thanks, man.
Yeah, Trent's thrown in his like success by 7 or whatever it were law roll earlier. Chucking his representations down. Okay, Matthias will get mentioned as well because of his involvement, and I think Jack Mawson even speaks up when it came round to that in Trent's first representation. And he says like, yes, it did seem that way, but we've also had access to these, and it would, yeah, it becomes quite clear through the course of it by the time it gets around to Lily's turn that they've read all your text messages that you were sending that night. The only ones they've not got are the ones that were on the phone that Guy had, it seems. It's like they know nothing about that phone or Guy at all. And he's in the room, but no one's noticed him yet.
Do you want me to roll stealth?
No, I don't need you to.
Okay.
In fact, it's probably better if you don't, because you might grip
Okay.
throw this whole thing up in arms.
All right, but what are they asking Lily then?
So again, they'll ask you for the whole story, and they'll focus on this phone call for a good 20 minutes right at the start.
Which phone call?
Not phone call. When the conversation on the balcony when Guy said that he had some shit to do. And they'd ask you a lot about Guy. If you could just give me a will check, that would be great.
Oh, gods. 50-50 chance. A little bit better.
A lot worse, because this is a quick contest, and I rolled amazing.
On the nose.
So you hold up, but you do end up admitting to, you know, like getting very heated, and yeah, you wanted to do vigilante stuff. I think your lawyer speaks up for you on a few occasions. You get reminded to stick to yes and no answers when needed.
She is gonna, if it's acceptable, she is gonna play up the, like, that she just really wanted to help, like the sympathetic angle.
Mm-hmm.
And then she is also gonna throw Guy under the bus a little bit.
So, after your initial representations, there'd be a brief recess. Your lawyer says that things are going great, and she's not worried at all. She doesn't even think that they're gonna give you any community service. But she does reckon that they're probably going to ask you all to report. And potentially Lily might be fitted with a tracking device.
What? Why? Why just me?
Your movements are scary for the government, she says. And I think Trent, you would... Yeah, that's... I should point out, Trent would have been grilled about the other Trents. Very in-depth.
So we all know now.
Yeah, if anyone did not know that there were multiple Trents, by the end of this hearing, you will.
Is it clear that they don't know how many Trents there are?
They seem to think that they've got a pretty good knowledge of how many Trents exist. Because they remind him, Mr. Brightmore, you are aware that the state is required to know every instance of you that exists. And
Yeah.
you have
Well-
kept us informed of all of you to date, yes? That is not in
Yes.
question today. We were hopeful that you would all be in attendance.
No, but we are. I assure you. But I think just one to be present and speaking would suffice. Should I bring in my colleagues so they may speak as well alongside me?
That won't be necessary.
I
Based
And
on-
we will
understand.
speak as one unified voice.
It's dangerous to be in the room with lots of Trents. On his own, he only emits about as much radiation as a banana, but when he reaches critical mass, it's 1,000
Hey,
Chernobyls.
Luke, can I make one request during the deposition thing?
Mm-hmm.
Can she have kind of played up a little bit that she has not harmed anyone and actually has rescued more lives than put in danger through the course of her actions?
Who've you rescued?
The guy who's tied up in the office,
One.
and the guy with the axe who got the axe.
Yeah. Your
There-
lawyer would
There
have...
were also brain slug victims that she rescued.
Oh, yeah, all the brain slug victims.
Yeah, all the people who are getting beat to death.
And...
All her
And the
main,
rescue guy?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
yeah, all her main, what do you call it? Attempts have been at rescue and distraction.
Yep. Yeah, I think your lawyer did suggest that you bring up these, but subtly and in less in depth, because she's worried that they'll draw attention to Sigrid also running off, but just to kill terrorists.
Yeah, like I'm not, but I'm bringing up the point that it was indeed, there was no malice intent,
Mm-hmm.
except for that one time she dropped a beer bottle on a guy and missed.
Yeah, I'm sure you don't mention
That was a bar fight.
Yeah.
That was all.
I think during your deposition, that bar fight does get mentioned as well, actually. No, they talk about the bag. They don't know about the bar fight at all,
Yeah, and then also mention that
even though they were
she
there.
has brought evidence in a, basically she's trying to play up to the fact that she's been nothing but help to the government and all of the things she's done, and played by all the rules and is getting punished for it. And she's probably gonna cry. That was it.
Alrighty. Do any of you talk to each other during the break?
Pull the brim of my hat way down.
Audrey complains about them reading our text messages on our text message channel.
Lucius continues wondering, why does this not look like the TV shows?
It were only the texts that Lily had sent that they had. And received.
Which is everything.
Yeah, just about everything.
Mhm.
Because Lily is a texting fiend.
Yeah, she's the nexus. She is the hub.
Like, it's all mostly inane shit, but
Besides, it's more the principle than anything.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a privacy invasion. Okay, it seems like you're just anxious to get...
I mean, there's Lily's still pissed at Sigrid, so she's not talking to her right now. And
Honesty works out best in the end.
Secret's catchphrase.
glare.
Couldn't just sit somewhere eating a sandwich.
Guy's
Yeah,
eyeing
no,
that
I think-
sandwich suspiciously from his corner.
It sounds like it's going pretty okay. There's no reason to rock the boat.
Actually, Matthias will go find Audrey.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
She's
do you think if I had been there, the people wouldn't have died?
Do I think what? Out of character, you cut out a little bit.
If he had been there, that the people wouldn't have died.
She pauses long enough that it's clear that she's actually thinking about it. People would have died anyways. I don't think there's any way around that with Sigrid there. I guess it depends on whether or not they were going to start shooting. It kind of seemed like they were going to shoot regardless.
Okay.
Why are you worried it was your fault?
Well, I- he doesn't say it, but duh.
Yeah. For what it's worth, people that carry guns, that's part of the deal. Live by the gun, die by the gun.
Boys who play with guns should be ready to die like men.
It sounds like she mostly believes it, but she's also partially saying it for your and her sake.
Matthias will head back to his spot in the popcorn gallery now.
Alrighty.
There are some sympathetic looks over the course of the next section of the trial.
So, as you get back in, the old man who'd not spoken yet stands up, and he must be in his 80s. Looking at him, completely white hair and very short beard. He's dressed, just in typical old man clothes. The high slacks and cardigan, full beige look. He says, "This group's made a decision. We'd like to start with Ms. Brynjolf, daughter, if you would."
Okay.
At this time, we can recommend no punishment or restrictions on this individual. Her behavior since awakening is a failing entirely of the state. Serge will be appealing this decision. He looks over at Marcella, who nods and says, "We believe more stringent monitoring should be required for you, Sigrid. But we're going to settle with weekly reporting to make us aware of your behaviors. You're also to cease production of martial weapons in any and all form. And if you are found to be carrying weapons, then more serious measures may have to be considered, including, and not limited to, relocation to Denmark, Norway, or Sweden, who have all expressed interest in your care.
Poor forgotten Iceland.
Iceland and expressed interest.
Greenland.
They couldn't cut the ice.
Too busy just hot springing it. Iceland might just be one big mega volcano now. Either way, they don't want Sigrid. Trent Brightmore. We're going to ask that each of the instances of Trent report daily for the next month. Following that, you will be asked to report weekly for a period of 6 further months. You are to be subject to an immediate re-evaluation of all meta traits. And you are to undertake 1,000 hours of community service. You may appeal this decision. You have 14 days in which to submit an appeal. Do you accept
I
these
can make
charges?
a movie with.
Or would you like to appeal them immediately?
No, he turned to a remark. 1,000 hours. I can make a movie with that. Yeah, public showing.
Kind of glance
He
at each
starts
other.
writing now.
Also, he can do it in like, you know, a couple 100 hours because they all can be doing it at the same damn time.
Yeah,
That's probably why it was such a large number.
Yeah.
Maybe. They might look more into the logistics of it. And then Lily Dunning. We're going to have to recommend the same charges and restrictions that we're levying against Mr. Brightmore. But in addition, for the duration of your reporting period, we would like you to wear this monitoring device.
Look at my lawyer.
She kind of frowns. She's like, with the reporting restrictions, a monitoring device hardly seems necessary. We'll be submitting an appeal. And they're like, very well. Make some notes. Do you have any final remarks for this public hearing? Very well.
She's gonna mumble under her breath and just want to help people. But probably gets picked up by the mic or some shit like that.
Feedback, help people.
Just one of jerks.
And as you file out, some people would be wanting to ask you some questions. And your lawyer
Reporters?
probably pushing back. Yeah, there's a few reporters here have gathered. It's actually quite busy, and people are taking pictures as you emerge.
Oh, I'm not emerging. I'm going straight home.
Fair enough. Your lawyer deals with that. Sigrid, a microphone would get shoved under your mouth.
I don't think Sigrid understands what it is, so she just keeps walking.
As they, what would they ask the Viking? You've literally just gotten away with murder. A lot of people aren't happy with the decision. Is there anything you'd say to them? And your lawyer's just like, don't talk to them, Sigrid. As cats are just falling off her. I should have pointed out that throughout this hearing, cats just kept appearing.
Wait, what?
The lawyer produces cats at an uncontrollable rate.
That's ridiculous. I love it.
It's Snatcher, cats only, uncontrollable. And during Lily's deposition, like, the rate of cat production increased, probably. Logarithmically. Until she just leaves with a crap load of cats. Eventually they'll get de-snatched and end up in the universe they belong in.
Scrundinger's cat universe?
Ugh. Sorry, I'm stretching. I think it's a good
There's
time
also
for a break, probably. Be going for like 90 minutes, although...
We were on a break.
Get out of here, Ross. No Friends references. Oh, no arguments. Alright, I'm clearing us. We'll be right back in 5 minutes. We're back. So, that was an awkward trial. I apologise for the awkwardness. I should have prepared better mentally and probably written some things down. I do think we might want to retcon some of it, Trent, because if you did tell the whole truth, I think right now is when your shop's getting raided to recover that stolen research center equipment.
Trent will return the thing if someone shows up to reclaim it.
But you mention it though. Do you think you mentioned?
I mean, it's not relevant to the conversation.
Did they ask me if I take anything?
Oh, by the
No,
way,
they-
on this discussion of my jaywalking ticket, I also killed some people like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
An exaggeration.
Oh, yeah.
You guys really dropped the ball investigating that.
I also have this room full of chairs that used to be people
This is
that tormented me.
What? So that was
Okay.
not a storehouse.
So no retcon needed. We just skimmed over the topic, much as it would have been there. Yeah, I don't think they noticed that anything had been stolen from there, or at least not to question you at this stage.
I'll ask a few things. Look,
Yar.
when it wasn't Trent's turn to speak, when they're talking to questioning the others,
Mhm.
Trent would run a series of detects across the room
Okay.
to see if there would be anyone detecting for active use of superpowers.
So you're detecting for detects.
Yeah.
Indeed, there are detects occurring, but not constantly.
Mm-hmm. I would like to know who were the people detecting.
One of them was just someone in the gallery. But from the body language, you think they must have been state employed. Like they were there to detect, but they weren't doing a good job of it, you don't think? There was also a couple of technological devices detecting. One that Jack Mawson had on his person.
Mm-hmm.
And... Go on.
How good is that one?
Not great. Better than the one that's built into the courtroom, though. But only marginally. You don't think it'd pick up most of what you did.
Trent would test the thing. I would purposefully make a very limited form illusion to trick Jack Morrison. You know, like make a little illusion like he's wet his pants or some other bullshit like that to see how he would react.
Okay, illusion that he let a fart slip out that may or may not have had some slimy poops in it.
Yeah.
He's like, oh god, is that the breakfast burrito? Was that a big mistake? I'm just checking your sheet. The illusion works on him. Yeah, you see him check his pants. He definitely shuffles at one point while focuses on Lily. Reaches into his pants to feel if he's shat himself.
Okay, but does he realize it's a... Or does he formulate the question if it could be a mental trick or something?
No, he seems convinced that he shat himself, I think, actually. In fact, yeah, I think he'll stick his hand down his trousers and then that would just before the recess were called.
Okay, I'd have to try something more obvious. So, like something more visual, like a little fairy appearing in front of him, dancing for like 2 seconds and then poofing.
Make him a giant dwarf.
Not yet.
So if we do retcon back into that trial that almost definitely probably lasted 3 hours altogether. Yeah, a fairy dances across the table. Is that what you're going with?
No, just in front of Jack Morrison.
Okay, so you're just making it so just he sees it.
Yeah.
He'd probably slap the table at one point while Lily's talking.
Probably makes her cry.
Yeah, it comes out of nowhere, and it is almost perfectly timed as if he were objecting to something you were saying. But he slaps table, and everyone looks at him, and he just goes like, "Ugh." And then he like looks underneath his hand where he slapped table. Is there a squished fairy underneath it, or
No.
no? Okay, yeah. So he just goes, "Yeah, carry on." And then
But it doesn't
afterwards,
reach for his device.
he does pull his device out and seems to, he presses a few buttons on it and puts it in his pocket and drinks a couple of glasses of water. Looks at his watch a lot, looks around the room angrily a lot.
So he doesn't pick it up. It was me.
No, it does not seem like
I
it.
don't think so. Okay. Yeah, that's all I wanted to know. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Luke, can I make a quick phone call before we move on?
Yep.
All right. So as soon as I get home, I'm picking up that burner I have that's hidden in my underwear drawer,
Okay.
and I'm gonna call up my contact and be like, I can never remember his name. Stevens, was it? Simons. And rant a little bit about how am I supposed to do the things I was told to do. If they have a damn tracker on me, you got to figure out a way to make this to get this to stop working. Pull favors, blah blah blah. I'm freaking the hell out, man. And then hang up, because that was he only leaves messages, right?
Yep. All right. So, Trent did not mention his stolen equipment. It was not asked about.
I didn't mention, the chat I had with Simons either.
No. And yeah, I said like 4 people were there, but I think a lot more people were actually there. I think Simons were probably called up to talk at one point when he mentions how, you know, you brought him the tied up guy and stuff. And how you tipped him off about the shootings.
Okay. So it sounds like it was a bigger rigmarole, but you were a bit brain dead.
Yeah, it was a huge rigmarole, but I am very brain dead, which is disappointing because I was so brain alive earlier. But it's the way it goes.
What time is it right now for you?
That's unimportant, I think. Probably unrelated.
And then
I hear people Googling what time it is. It's 20 past 3 in the morning.
And then she's gonna start bitch texting to all her friends about how this is so unfair, blah blah blah. You know.
Mm-hmm. I think
So
when you come out,
Audrey
you've already,
immediately starts to get texts.
yeah, you've already got a couple of texts on your way out, like, "Oh my God, yours on the news."
Lily, you're reading this.
I can complain about how unfair it is. It's not against the law, unless being a good abiding citizen is against law. Fuck this. I'm so upset, blah, blah, blah.
That's amazing.
And yeah, she's just storm raging.
So yeah,
Texting.
Yep. Don't interrupt the storm text. That's a terrible idea.
it's like 6 p.m. by the time you get out. You're all well hungry. Your actual punishments and reporting periods won't start until the new year because of the appeal periods that you've got. And there is potential for appeal.
Dinner?
Yeah.
But yeah, you'd all be well hungry. And you'd probably go for food. And I think we could actually skip on a couple of days. I'm not sure that anything majorly exciting had happened in the next few days.
Okay.
Matthias had received a letter telling him he's been enrolled for a driving course that starts in the new year.
I'm gonna start on the project making those tools.
Oh yeah, Sigrid wanted to make tools. Well, that's good because people also show up. People in those fancy suits that you've seen a few wearing, Sigrid.
Okay.
Although I'm not sure if there's anything that'd make them look fancy to you at all, except for how neat
They're
and
probably
matchy they are.
Yeah, well cut and matched, and it's just like my watch detail.
Yeah, security detail, pretty much, for everyone else near you. And they, like, interrogate, you see them interrogating nerds for ages. You probably enjoy that, though.
Yeah.
Because...
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep working on making tools.
Mm-hmm. And they check what you're
What
making.
you making there?
Yeah.
A hammer.
It's like, for bashing skulls in.
For working metal, you ass.
Yeah, I don't think they get that prying either. They just kind of watch. They don't even stick around all day, that you can tell.
Okay.
So just to be a little twat, whenever Lily notices that there's someone trailing her, she's just gonna warp clear across the island.
You've got shadowing, I think, haven't you?
Yes, I do.
I mean, she could just be a paranoid little twerp and just do
Oh,
that.
she's gonna do it every hour anyway.
Roger
I
that,
know you're
Augustus.
listening, he says to the empty room.
Yeah, you definitely get a chance to warp away from a tail a few times over the couple of days. And I think it'd get around to the last day of Saturnalia, the huge party. The crowning of the king. I'm not sure if that normally happens earlier.
Probably the first day.
Yeah, so it's probably just a huge party.
Preside over
yeah, the Emperor is there at the big like feasty thing.
And everyone's, by the last day, everyone's done airing their grievances.
Mm-hmm. The feats of strength are over. It is still subdued compared to most years because of the terror attack.
Terror attack, yeah.
Restrictions still in place. Everyone on edge. I think it's also Christmas Day, the last day of Saturnalia this year.
I think so too. It's always the 17th for 1 week. So it's always the last
Christmas
day.
Day.
Yeah, it's always the 24th. Also, I'm gonna kidnap Guy at some point.
You gotta find him first.
Probably at Trent's place, right? Weren't you planning on cutting some mono wire?
Yes.
So,
and attaching it to one of Sigurd's axes.
I don't know how secret we need this to be, Guy. You do have an identity. You are a Nirvana citizen. I just don't think the name is Guy.
No.
Correct. Rightio, yeah. So, I think that's all that needs to be said, really, for now. Players can investigate further if they so desire.
But yeah, no, you're getting poofed away at one point.
Okay.
To someplace secluded. Probably that wilderness again. She just ends up going there a lot.
You might want to stop doing that when you get your tracker fitted.
Yeah, she's not going to get a tracker.
It's being appealed, bro.
Being appealed. And if anyone else wants to, she's going to do a little interrogation. If anyone else wanted to be included in that, they're welcome to be.
If she brought it up, Matthias would definitely say yes. And she might remember that Matthias was also the guy who was like, what do you mean you're going to kill people? No, don't kill people. That's bad.
I also said we shouldn't kill people.
Yeah, so you know that you're on the same page as Matthias.
If we're interrogating, Audrey's definitely in.
Okay.
Audrey says, brandishing a furry handcuffs.
You're getting shanghaied into, not shanghaied, that's not the right term. But anyway, you get teleported into the wilderness where there's at least 3 of us.
Pull out a bag of beef jerky and munch on it and hold it out to you guys.
She'll take a piece and look and go.
It's real good.
All right.
It's Korean.
All right. So what is your deal?
I haven't made any deals.
You get that really look. No, what's your deal?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you. For the moment, I'm keeping an eye on Mr. Brightmore because I don't know what the fuck he is, but I don't think he belongs here.
It's Trent here. Trent's just like, thanks for that.
I think it's the 3 of us. Try me. You're talking to a flying teleporter. Psychic girl. Like,
well, if you're psychic, then why don't you already know?
Because I'm polite. Would you like me to just find out? I'm not going to without permission.
Credence.
So no.
Yes.
It would be super illegal to do that.
More illegal than carrying
kidnapping is illegal.
All right, fine. I am preventing the end of the entire world. Are you happy?
Are you successful?
Fuck if I know.
I would say I'm not happy so much as unnerved by that.
I don't believe
How do you think I feel?
whoop. I failed. So he's telling the truth, no matter what he said.
From the Yakuza?
The Yakuza we're a convenient target in a way for me to evaluate some of you and your skills and loyalties. Also, I mean, they're bad guys, and let's be honest, they would have done bad things with the monowire if we hadn't taken it away from them.
How old are you?
I have no. It's really
I
hard.
have no.
You cut
You
out
cut
for
out.
us.
Oh, did I? I
Mm.
said I have no idea. It's hard to keep track sometimes.
So you're really old.
No, I'm youngish.
Hanging out with teenage girls.
Also, Mr. Brightmore.
I'm not the only one. We're a collective.
I'm like mid-20s at the oldest.
So, like, you screwed up my life just to get.
Oh, you did all of that. You cannot blame me for any of that. All right, you made your own decisions.
Huffy
She made
glare.
those decisions because you were pushing this.
Was it worth it?
Fairly certain that we prevented the Yakuza from walking around with mono-edged melee weapons.
No, I mean, did you learn what you needed to know about us?
Most of you, yes.
She
Still
nods.
don't know about Brightmore.
That's only
Suppose we
because I don't know about Brightmore and I couldn't tell you more, but it works.
suppose we believe you. Why us in particular?
That's a big and a small question all at the same time. The big part of it, I don't really know. The small part of it is because you guys are going to be part of very important events, and I'm here to make sure that those events transpire in a way that's beneficial to the future of the entire planet.
Are you a time traveler?
Yes.
Forwards or backwards or both?
That's if you understand the mechanics of time travel, you realize that's not as straightforward of a question as you think it is.
So yes.
Yes.
Right, but if you can change the future, why have you chosen to make this our future? You have come to us and gone, I like you in particular.
Say that again.
Is
You have
saying that,
chosen us
yeah.
and said, I like you in particular as the saviors of the world.
Whoa, I didn't say the saviors of the
Also,
world. Hold
I was
on.
shooting
Don't
this
be
somewhere
calling.
again.
I just said that you guys are a part of a very important events, and that by being with you and preparing you for them and being with you for them, I can help steer the future in the right direction.
What direction is that?
Away from the fabric of reality ripping apart.
So you are choosing to have us save the world.
If it helps you to have that as the answer, then yes.
But you don't care who wins. You just want to make sure the board's okay?
That's an interesting way of putting it. Sure.
If you'll excuse me for a second. She floats.
You
over
better
to-
come back.
She floats over to the edge of the cliff nearby and just screams out into it, and then returns and goes, "Sorry about that."
It's not an uncommon reaction, I think.
If you believe him.
I do. I rolled to detect lies.
That's true.
All right. You got to tell my mom.
Pretty sure I don't have to tell your mom.
Yes, you do. You ruined the
You
relationship.
made
with my-
those choices.
No. You're gonna tell my mom, and we're gonna make everything better between us, so she's not mad at me anymore. And you're gonna do this for me because I'm apparently one of the integral twines that holds the fabric of reality together. And oh my fucking
God,
head!
aren't you like a
that
little Miss
leads-
princess?
That leads into my next question, which is, why are the saviors of the universe a small-time vigilante from France and Germany, two spoiled rich girls?
Hey,
That's the bigger part of the question, and that's the one that I have no idea. We can only see certain parts of the path where, you know, one nudge might move things a little bit in one direction or the other. I'm fairly certain I'm not the only one working towards this end, and I do have some limited communication with people who can see a bigger picture than me. But honestly, the more information that somebody in my position has, the more dangerous things can get. So it's probably better to keep the scope limited to what I can influence here and now.
Another question.
Go ahead.
Just a clarification before I ask the question. Guy is American, right?
No. He had a faint accent, and he moved around a lot as a kid.
Okay, but he didn't speak French.
He did. He recognized French, but he didn't speak it.
What? Why do you have a French name if you're not French?
Well, the French colonized an awful lot of places. Also, nationality means a lot less further down the line than it does now. At least in my future.
So you are from the future.
Well, I'm from your future. I'm from my past.
When were you born?
I don't know. After reality started tearing itself apart.
What caused that?
I think we're getting a little bit away from the information that
It's
probably
safe for you
safely
to
good to
talk
have.
about.
Yeah.
I think
You want us to trust you and do as you say, but you won't tell us enough for us to figure out if we should trust you.
I've been pretty straightforward with a lot of information. You
Or
don't
you've
see
been
the
lying.
possible danger in... All right, fine. Audrey, go ahead.
What?
Am I lying?
He's looking deadly serious at you and kind of inviting you into his brain.
All right.
Yum.
You sure?
I mean, I don't... Yeah, I'm sure.
Didn't you just say that there's stuff that you can't tell us?
So obviously you're going to have to swear yourself to secrecy.
Yeah.
Plus, some of the stuff that you see, you're not going to want to talk about.
And it's more safe that you don't say it out loud. And yeah, that second one is the stuff you will want to see and not want to say out loud yourself is also true, I think.
All right. Here, you might want to sit down. And she sits down next to you and reaches out to touch your temple with her hand. And we make it a will check, because I don't think you can relent to this.
Looks like you're into me. The dice wanted it.
Hmm. I'm going to whisper to the GM what she's actually doing, but the visible
At all.
the visible effect is that both of them sort of zone out for a little bit.
Guy gets a nosebleed,
The,
and then his head explodes.
and he thinks he's a chicken.
Exactly like the first 3 minutes of Scanners.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone that happens to be watching on the stream, feel free to look away if you don't want spoilers.
All right.
Twitch.tv/K.
I'm
Yeah.
spamming.
Oh.
And if you want spoilers, go and look at Twitch.
Get to spamming. Spam harder.
It's all right. It's not the end of the world if people get spoilers. I just wanted to warn them so they don't have to get them.
That should do it.
What?
So she's going to rummage around a bit, but for time purposes and story purposes, she also confirms that he's telling the truth.
Mm-hmm. That sounds good to me. And I'll have a lot of things to tell both of you.
Nice.
We can do that after game. I don't want to.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
After
When the two of them come to, she says he's telling the truth.
We should cut across to Lucius right now, though.
after they're done, don't worry.
I think for a while, Lily's just going to continue her existential little freak out over here and then bring everyone home once it's done.
All right. No, yeah, let's have a little look. Matthias, I feel like you might want to say some things to Audrey, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
He's telling the truth. He
and
seems
he's from the future.
he's from a different time. He's not entirely sure when.
Future would be a good bet. You know, you're definitely not meant to say which year, but it's you can safely say that the place he was given his orders, their calendar was 100 years ahead of ours.
I mean, certainly the future, but I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that I'm not supposed to tell people exactly how much, and I don't know exactly.
You're scared to mention too much because
He was afraid.
because he
to
was
say.
scared
Yeah.
too. Yeah, pretty much. You would have also noticed. No, I'm going to whisper that to you secretly later. But it makes you more scared than anything, really. I think.
All right, so he's telling the truth. What do we do with that? Do we just do what he says, or do you know what to do?
I mean,
Guy doesn't know what to do. Like, pretty much Guy knows that he needs to be friends with you lot. That is about as far as it goes.
I think it's more important to him that he's with us than us that he's with us, if that makes sense.
No.
He's a fifth wheel.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't seem to have any investment in stopping us from doing things, though. Are you willing to help?
Alright.
She looks in his direction.
Yes.
Did you mean Guy?
Unless that was the weird pronoun game thing where you're talking to a guy and then you try to talk to another guy by saying his.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what it was. Sorry. I believe that he intends to. He doesn't intend to hurt us or hinder us, but I'm curious whether or not he's willing to help.
I don't know what we're even supposed to do. The cops are on us. We got in trouble for helping people. This is all, and now we're apparently tied to the unraveling of reality.
Can't you put the tracker on an animal or something?
There are ways around a tracker. Multiple
Lily
of you
doesn't
know
know
immediately.
that.
But Lily probably doesn't. Yeah, Lily's probably like, that tracker's on you, they know where you are. 24 hours a day, all times. No questions asked. No workaround. Breathing.
She's just basically she's just irrational right now with just rage, fear, and mind exploding. You know.
Yeah. Universe is so big.
Yeah.
Gee,
Are you willing to
here.
help them?
Seems fair.
They can't stop being vigilantes, though.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
But it seems like they don't want to.
Well,
I think what we need help with is not getting caught next time.
yeah, that we can work out. I mean, I did say that we needed to do the masks last time. There are
Also,
more
try not
things that
bleeding.
we can do. Sorry?
Try not bleeding.
Yeah, that was one of the main things.
Hard to do when you get shot 50 times.
Yeah, we'll have to get shot less,
Sigrid's
or
just
maybe find a way to get into their DNA database. Just throwing that out there.
I would say Sigrid's just cracking open a lunchtime beer or something.
Then accidentally cuts her hand open, like, I bleed all the time.
She doesn't know how to work a pop tab, so she just twists it in half.
Yeah.
Probably just bites into it, like blood dripping down your face. Like, oh, why beer so painful in future?
I kind of suspect they're going to notice if we change our records. I don't think. Does anybody know how to do computer stuff, anyways?
Yeah, I do.
No.
Of course you do, Mr. Time Travel Espionage Fate of Reality Man.
Yeah, we want to actually keep that to ourselves, okay? Like,
Oh,
the more
yeah.
people that know
I want to end up in a padded room where everyone thinks I'm insane. Yeah, I'm gonna go telling the world I have a time traveling friend, and my fate is tied to reality.
I'll turn to Audrey. Can you erase memory?
I mean, again,
One of the founders
super
of
illegal.
Nirvana was a time traveler.
I didn't know that.
Are we all not time travelers floating on the sea of...
Audrey chuckles at that.
Yeah, I just have an oar. None
Which
of the
isn't
rest
said.
of you do.
Yeah,
She's not there.
Lily didn't invite Sigrid because she's
Oh,
mad as balls at her.
that's fair.
Yeah, I'm mad as balls
Very
at
fair.
Sigrid.
In the same way that Sigrid is a time traveler. I met another time traveler here. There are a few.
That's
I
kind of
mean, I know
disturbing.
there are others around, but, you know, I can't imagine that all of them are working towards the same goal or even aware of it. But it'd still be interesting to have a conversation with one.
When does the world go to shit? What
I can't
year?
tell you that. I know the exact date, and I can't tell you that.
I want to know. I don't.
No, you don't.
Well, now I'm really freaking out. Is it soon? Is it soon?
You still need to study for at least another semester.
Oh God, it's soon.
Then Audrey starts laughing. No,
Narrator voice. It was not soon.
All right. Could you at least try to mill things over with my mom? You don't have to say you're a time traveler. Just
A million years can be soon on certain scales, though. You know.
Yeah.
How do you imagine people smoothing things over with your mom?
I
Roland?
don't know. She's just so mad at me, and I don't like it.
Do you not want freedom that you've been given right now? Especially if we're going to continue the vigilanteism thing. Like, to not be accountable to her and to. Yeah.
But I like.
Fine, you're still going to have a relationship with her. You just don't have to be, there all the time.
It were a really nice apartment, man.
All right. Well, she's gonna do the.
Okay.
Well, if,
Oh no, go on.
no, go ahead.
I was
We
gonna
can go
change
for a while over it.
scenes.
Oh, that's perfectly fine. I think I'm done, unless other people still want to talk.
Audrey, it did sound like you had so much to say.
I can say it in the next scene. Don't worry about it. It's not
All right.
pressing.
Can I get a shadowing, please, from Nerd Boy Lucius? That's your name.
Of course.
Did you stow away?
I was actually gonna do something else and get more information. Now that we know this part, I was gonna see if I could get the other part.
The other part, you were actually being
What?
followed, and you don't know this part just yet.
But that's what I wanted to talk about you.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to start if we can go back in time at the point where everybody's like clustering down the building, like getting out. I wanted to go into shadow mode and get as everybody's passing in front of me without distracted, to turn into a shadow of Morgan's. Sorry, the Mr. Chief.
Jack
Yes.
Morrison.
Yes, Morrison.
You're gonna shadow Jack Morrison a bit
As
Yes.
a shadow.
as a
Okay.
shadow.
As his shadow.
Nice.
When he actually
Oh.
stops for a smoke, I actually get a smoke while in the shadows.
Yes, you do. It's true. And holy shit, he does not notice you at all. Oh my god,
He's using the shadowing skill.
this is amazing. So yeah, he walks a few blocks from the courthouse, which is strange because he walks past 3 different tram stops on the same line before stopping at one that was a good 30 minutes walk away.
Any particular reason?
None that you can tell at first, but then the tram that arrives is not in service. He looks around, and there's no one else at the tram stop. Like he waits at it as a couple of trains come and go and pick people up and take them. And then when there's no one there, about 5 minutes later, a not in service tram shows up, and him and you get on that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm like right below him. If his shadow is like just his foot,
Yeah,
I'm underneath his shoes.
it seems like he's got no idea you're there, and the tram is following the general route, but then turns off where they go for servicing, and carries on through a tunnel deep underground. It feels like.
I wait there, puzzled as to where is this man actually going. What does he know that he's not telling us? For his perspective, it's like he's standing on his feet, like his image is reversed. He's like looking at the rest of the world as if he was underneath water for his way of looking at things.
From the shadow form.
Yes, to him is like swimming.
It's nice flavor. So the tram eventually stops and he gets off at a very airy platform, and it's clearly the end of the line for this tram. And there is a big security gate with a scanner. There are 2 people stood either side of it, and they are armed with some kind of firearm. They nod at him as he approaches, and they're like, "Jack." Are you continuing to shadow?
How does the scanner look? Does it look like one of those that just registers like up to the toes? So might miss me?
It's the archway, like at an airport. You can't tell if there's a gap underneath. Have you got electronics operation security?
No, but I have search. Not sure if I could try to look.
Give me a
Or-
stealth. He's like approaching the gate too quickly and you'd have to slip off into a corner.
I move that way as best of my ability.
Is that success by 9? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And then give me the search.
Mm-hmm. Oh, on the nose.
It seems to be, from what you can tell, pretty sophisticated. And you're not sure if you can spot a way around it even.
Could I spot like a vent or something where I can like move into the other side and then just meet up Morrison on the other side?
There are vent systems that you could squeeze through.
I'll go through one of the vents, and when he goes to the other side, I'll stick to the nearest shadow and just quickly rush into to merge with Morrison's shadow.
One more stealth, please.
Mm-hmm.
Baller
By
rolls.
Sneaky Lucius. I guess he is waiting until the camera moves into not his direction, and then he sneakily does the thing.
Slides down the wall real fast. Hooks up with him. Yeah, so there's quite a few people knocking about and more armed guards quite frequently. Mawson seems to know them all. He nods and says hello to him. And he eventually reaches a big control room area, you know, with the angled glass window looking down at the experiment area, all Black Mesa style.
Mm.
Except what they've got down there is a row of beds with people hooked up to life support machines, it looks like. Mawson's just like, how are they doing? What's it look like? And a couple of people just shake their heads and they're like, no change. And then you would notice that behind them all, in a tank on a slightly higher table, is one of the little squishy things. The neck parasites.
Mm-hmm.
And it's at that point that an alarm goes off. And the door kind of gets, you know, it swooshes open. And there's 2 people with guns pointing at Jack Mawson. And he just says, what's going on? And then they kind of lower the guns down to the shadow that is you.
Oh shit, my boss is an asshole.
They shout, you've been compromised. Reveal yourself.
I guess I'll slowly rise from Morrison's shadow with my arms up in the air, since it seems, yep, they got me.
And you would get dragged off to an interrogation room straight away.
I'll light up a cigarette and wait. I'll put up a cocky pose.
Mawson comes in pretty quickly. Why are you following me, kid?
Why
Let
else?
Dunning tell you to do it.
Why would she? You already freak her out already. this has nothing to do with Lily. This has everything to do with what you're doing to my friends. Besides, what's up with those guys with the worm on their neck? I thought you guys had already figured it out and sold it. Or didn't you say that on the news?
He squints. So yeah, he's frowning real hard. I don't know what they're going to do with you, Lucius. I think I'm going to have to skip scene. Just because I'm not sure what they're going to do with you, Lucius.
Oh, okay.
How long did that take? Because I could have a way to enter that scene on the periphery
You absolutely could, because this was
via a
occurring
phone.
before in the past. Yeah.
No, but not that far, right? Oh wait, yeah, right after, yeah.
Yeah, right after the court hearing.
Oh,
when this
and in
happened.
that case, I don't. No, Matthias wouldn't have anything to say, anything new.
Rodeo. So yeah, this is the evening after that court thing. That court thing. That's what we'll go with. I think Lucius might have just gone missing. Up to the couple of days after.
Actually, I wanted to say something to Morrison, if you would allow.
Yeah,
with a
no,
roll.
let's continue with the scene for a bit.
The next thing that I wanted to say to him was with a psychology roll. Look, thing is, you went too hard on my friend Lily there, and I think their parents went a little bit harder. So I went off trying to see what was really going on upstairs in the whole fucking city, in order to see if somebody could lay up a little bit off. Thing is, you brought me into something that, well, you clearly need help, and we seem to be getting a lot of things that you are not lately. Also, I'm looking for a job, so I think what I'm suggesting is you need an assistant, and I can help.
What's the psychology role you mentioned supposed to do?
Well, I do believe that he does not know what's going on. He does need help solving this case and help in the town. And he does want us to, I don't know what he
But
wants,
why
but
the psychology role you said?
I want to see if I could use any way of that to help the role, like using any psychology that I've learned all over the years to help me on this process. Not sure if I could use uh, anything that I learned from police work that I need to play in some sort of manner, like very calm, very
That wouldn't
in
really
a
be
in a demeanor or something.
psychology.
No,
But
what would be psychology then, or what could I apply to this to assist that kind of role? Because I'm not lying, I actually want to help.
And diplomacy.
Yeah, diplomacy would be the best one.
I don't have diplomacy though.
A reaction roll?
Yeah, that is what I just did. He sighs.
I got acting, but I don't want to lie act. I want to portray myself like I actually wanted to help Jack and Lily.
No, he rolled a reaction roll for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's kind of your best bet in this instance, probably.
You're just being honest and putting the cards out there, more or
Yeah.
less.
I disagree on a few of those counts. And you've not got the whole facts yet, Lucius. And you may not ever get them.
He turns off his cigarette, puts his both elbows on the table, and touches both of his hands tips on the fingers, like Mr. Burns, and says, "What if I told you that I've seen what's on the brain of that thing?"
Frowns. What do you mean?
He starts to light up another cigarette. First, if I tell you this, I want protection.
I'm not making any promises.
Would you really miss the opportunity of knowing what's inside the mind of that worm?
Protection from what?
Well, whatever guns are pointing at my head.
None right now, but you've entered a restricted facility. You've been following me.
Well, technically I've been standing on you, but let's not get into technicalities.
I'll do my best to make sure they don't deport you for breaking in here. How's that sound?
Good. I also want to get this fixed. The people of this town worry me. I'm not taking law for no reason. And he's gonna, if you want to skip to somebody else, he's gonna take that time to tell him everything he learned and how he did it, confessing to him that he can possess.
Alrighty.
Not sure you want me to take away the secret thing, or should I, or can I still keep it if I...
It's still a secret.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're only telling
Okay.
Mawson at the minute. Alright, yeah. I think we can go back to present day, and I think Lucius will have been missing for a couple of days.
In which case, Matthias has a couple things to report after they get back from interrogation.
Mhm.
Trent, what have you been up to?
I think Trent has been, one of the Trents at least, has been playing with the machine, the
Mhm.
nanomolecular fabricator or something.
Yours. Correct, that is what it is. You could use it to make new monowire if you had other parts of machines and I think it's probably some kind of specially created like powder that they use that is extruded into a single molecule wire
Mm-hmm.
and bombarded with something to make it gain strong interactive properties.
I've also been trying to, lure some randoms from the street to play the claw game.
Yeah, you'd probably get a few in.
And you get a 1950s Belarusian car. And you get a 1950s Belarusian car.
Do they bump the player count?
They do not.
Oh.
In fact, it only offers one of them the second play. The others, it just kind of stops working for them, it seems like.
Mm.
And the one who it offers the second play to, after it makes him bleed and, pulls out sneezing powder, he's just like, fuck your store, man. I'm totally filing a complaint with, the city health department. Like, you got me bleeding all over your machine. This is totally unsanitary.
Hey, it's part of the rules. It's the gamble.
It's like, yeah, whatever, man.
I still love that you haven't been able to get Lily on that thing.
She's a real gusher, this one.
It's a game for real man. I'm sorry, it's not your case.
Gonna come back with his frat bros to try and intimidate you. Get turned into another stack of chairs.
Add some more stools to the counter.
Way more seating than there is, surfaces.
Gotta start turning some of them into tables now. Okay. Yeah, Trent has some plans to talk to Lucius.
Okay.
But
yeah, I don't think
I
you'd be able
imagine-
to get in touch with him.
he's not gonna pick up the phone.
Not responding to texts over the past couple of days. To get the machine actually working, you will still need to acquire some of the high power cables,
Mhm.
which I don't think you can buy just like a bit of them on your own. That'll need like either a wholesale businessy purchase, which could be difficult to arrange, or straight up theft. If you were looking into that, then you'd spot a couple of places you could attempt to steal from.
No, I don't think he'll be stealing stuff like this yet.
I think you've probably
He needs to
also
wait until he's under surveillance.
got your own methods.
Oh, yeah, by the way, Trent does not show up to the
The mandatory.
place.
Yeah, we're about to ask
Yeah.
about that. So it was scheduled for like the day after the court hearing. You do not go to that.
No.
Radio. So 24 to 36 hours will have passed since you did not attend that. And you've not received another letter or a phone call or a visit yet. So Matthias, you've got some things to report.
Yep. Hello? Mr. Mawson?
Aye, go on, sorry.
I do have some stuff to report.
You hear him, like,
Lucius?
walking.
Huh?
Yeah?
Lucius hasn't been responding to texts. We haven't seen him for a couple of days. It's a bit weird for him.
Noted.
And there was something else. There was some stuff that Guy said. It just seemed a bit confusing.
Have you been in contact with him?
Yes.
What did he say?
It was just a bit confusing. Something about the way he said something, phrased a sentence. Are there people who have come from the past? Are there people who have come from the future?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Sigrid is from the past. Are there people from the future?
The phone line goes dead. Not just the phone line, but your entire phone is suddenly turned off. If you're in a payphone, it just goes to, no dial tone. Might even
I guess so.
refund a little bit of money.
Yeah, he reported enough without actually saying all the weird stuff.
Almost enough to hurt the universe. Maybe just enough.
That's all.
Sigrid.
Sorry.
Yeah, what
What?
are you doing, traitor?
Give me a smithing check, unless you gave me one.
Yeah,
earlier.
she's the real traitor.
Yeah, I think she's just working on making tools and trying to make this a fine forge so I can make it a super fine or a very fine forge. That's gonna be under skills, isn't it?
I would assume
Oh.
so. Yeah. You're getting your move on. It's going to be a long process, but you have
Yeah,
indeed got
sure.
a fine hammer made.
Just heavy enough.
And
Now I think we can 2 days it.
yeah, I'm considering things. I think I might need
Unless I get a call back from what's his name? I can never remember.
Simons.
Simons.
What were the message you left him again?
I was ranting about my ankle tracker and how am I supposed to do what he asked me to do if I can't get where I'm supposed to go.
So she wants to know what Simon says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simons says, figure it out.
Glare at the phone.
Lucius,
Mm-hmm.
you will be asked to demonstrate your possession abilities.
I will nod and try to possess Morrison.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. There will be guns in the room, other metahumans. Things seem to be getting quite serious when it reaches like the 8-hour mark and you've not been released or offered a phone call or anything like that.
He's being really cooperative, especially on the grounds that he saw what was doing to them, and he really wants to help those people and not let that happen to Nirvana.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he was thinking of being a judge, but this is far more interesting as a career opportunity. So for that, I need an IQ check against Morrison by 4.
You get in.
When I become Morrison, I go on to my cigarettes, not Morrison's. I light one up and say, "Yep." So I start digging on Morrison's. I don't know, something embarrassing. And does he have? No, I need to use something on my skills so that they know I'm. It's me on that body. So I'm gonna act.
You don't
I'm a
need
little
to
teapot.
prove it. I think you're probably
Oh.
both like hooked up to brain scanners at the minute. You know, monitoring electro, whatever it
I
is.
still make him do. I'm a little teapot dance.
Like a couple of the armed guards snigger. They're like laughing at you.
And then I release him.
And then when he comes back, he's like, "Ugh, that feels weird. You didn't make me shit my pants, did you?" Because
Nope.
I think there might be someone going around doing that. I don't know.
Nope, I don't do that.
Someone does. But that's a different crime I'm looking into. And they will ask you to, like, you know, repeat your statement that you gave about 4 times over, probably.
He will do that over and over. And he probably ran out of cigarettes. Not sure they would provide him more cigarettes by then.
Yeah, they'd give you cigarettes, they'd give you food and drink. They'd give you a pretty decent, like, hotel-style room, you know, like motel.
Yeah, he's just providing everything he can about it. See if they can find out something they haven't about those things in space or wherever that height might was.
So you still think they're aliens?
I still think they're Lucius still thinks they're aliens.
Mm-hmm. Your main experience of it was pain, was it not? Wanting to kill. When that thing had you, you wanted to kill.
It was yes. It was not pain. It was wanting to kill, rage, anger. I had to just kill. It was a command I could not refuse.
And it was when it got damaged that you felt the incredible pain. I'm pretty sure.
Ah, yes. Wait, but who damaged it? Sorry, I cannot remember.
You did. You tried to
I did.
rag it off.
Ah, I did it with a knife. With a knife, with a piece of glass.
Yep.
Yes, I did feel pain, and it was enough at least to rip it off. So it does. It will make them, or it will make it ease the control over the host because of the pain.
And then I think they're going to ask you to... no, I really need to think on this. It's going to take me more than a few days to consider what's going to happen to Lucius, honestly.
For breaking into a government facility, yeah.
Yeah. And we have been going for
About 3 hours.
Nearly 3 hours. I think we should probably just look at about calling it soon for this one.
I mean, is there any smaller scenes that we need to take care of in between that you want to set things up for, or?
Trying to think. Yes.
Okay.
Lily, you're still being followed. Obviously.
Being a pain in the ass to them.
But you think you're being followed by more than one group of people?
Oh, okay.
Maybe more than 2 groups of people.
Oh, how's the door been, by the way?
The door?
Yeah, the Yakuza door that I stationed a couple owls to scope.
Oh, the one... the police raided it. Oh, Surge raided it after you... The place where you recovered the guy from.
No, the other door, the one where I followed Mr. Crush Nutsack.
The Yakuza office. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of Yakuza-looking types come and go all day long. There's doesn't seem to be many crimes going on there, or at least not like violent or obvious ones. But it is a busy office, and people come and go at all times of day.
Okay, just I was wondering if there's anything notable there. But a second group following me. Or at least 2 groups, you said, following, you think?
At least 2 groups following you, yeah.
Can I roll a shadowing to shadow one of them after I either poof ditch them sometime or
yeah,
after they go off?
Yeah, give me a shadowing.
1 or 2?
Just the 1, please.
Just 1? Come on. By 1.
Okay.
And again, I'm not shadowing them.
So, yes, you do manage to identify that one of them is the Surge group. The other people that are following you, though, is just one old man. The old man who never gave his name from the meeting. And he is doing a much better job than Surge.
But it's always the same guy. It's not over like the course of those few days. It's never like the same guy. It's always the same guy as opposed to the other ones where they're taking turns.
Yeah, exactly. And like at first you thought it were a coincidence.
All right. Does he ever go to like a diner or a coffee shop or something on the regular?
He himself is very hard to shadow. That is the main point. You do not manage to track him anywhere, but you just barely manage to realize that it's that old guy who's been following you around. And you
All
more
right,
realize it because you spot him following Sigrid around as well.
Okay, if that's the case, one of the times where I spot him, when he's following either Sigurd or I around, I'm gonna poof up next to him. It's like right in his face.
He doesn't even blink.
What's your deal, man? Like,
Is this at a
obviously-
time where Sigurd's around?
Oh, I'll get you involved in a second, Sigurd. Don't worry about it. You've
Okay.
been kind of left out. I just want to get it started, then I'll get you involved. What's your deal, man?
He's just smiling. What would he say? I'm just watching for now.
Like a creeper?
Bit. Yes. He kind of smiles, a creepy old man smile. But not in the way you're thinking.
Like, you've been watching Red and I for like a few days ever since the trial, man.
He nods.
Like, tell me what's up, otherwise we're gonna have problems. I could bring Red over here anytime, and she could, break your ribs.
He just kind of puts his finger to his lips, looks around pointedly.
I'll sigh, grab his arm, and then poof to Red.
Ugh. Ugh.
And then
Get
grab
used to
Red's
that.
arm and then poof to the island.
Can you tech 2 people at once? Probably.
Red doesn't weigh that much.
Neither
How
does
much
this
does
old
this guy
man.
weigh?
Yeah, Red's like 85 pounds.
How much is this guy?
Maybe 100 pounds?
Yeah, easy. I can go up to 240 pounds.
Yeah, you got it then.
And then on the island.
Oh, it's been a while since I was here.
Red, this is
What?
the guy who's been following us. You know who this is.
Why you follow me?
He smiles. You're a good fighter, Sigrid.
Huh. Thank you. You missed the chest thump. I don't know if you could hear
We heard it.
We could.
it.
Why don't you bring some other people over, Lily?
Like, who?
Lucius should be getting let out about now. I'll make sure of it if he's not. He's starting... He pulls something out of his pocket. It's too small to be a phone, but he's rubbing his thumb over it in weird ways.
Ew.
Yeah. It's like the size of a credit card. Does not seem to have any visible screen or controls or anything, but he's rubbing it like it's some kind of phone. Or pager or something.
I don't know who you're talking about, man. Sigurd, Trent, and I were the only ones who, were tried of anything. I could bring Mr. Brightmore.
Sigurd's gonna like look at this guy and then look at Lily and be like, "Nah, bring everybody. I have good feeling. I like what he has to say."
All right, but if he ends up murdering us all on the island, it's on you, Red. Poof, and just everyone is getting nabbed.
So the question is, what is everybody in the middle of right now?
Not even waiting for me to put the fucking book down?
All right, so he was reading, and then I disappear again.
He just like collapses because he's in the sitting position.
Old man says like, Matthias, nods at you as you arrive.
What's Audrey up to?
She yells at you. Apparently, the phone call she was on was important. But I assume you don't stick around to find out.
No.
Yep.
Trent and then assumably Guy at the same time.
Yeah, we're like trying to plug a giant cable that's like running out of a manhole in front of face into the machine that
Perfect.
And so we just kind of leave it thumping on the ground with like little sparks flicking at the end.
Yeah, it's frisky. Shock wire rattling. And then that's perfect because you'd come back with them two and not be able to see Lucius. And Lucius, this is when you'd have been put in a lift about 5 minutes ago. Says, "Oh, apparently I've got to let you go.
Well, you know where to find me.
And you know what we talked about, which I will talk to you about in secret over some time."
He nods. And I guess he is about to light one cigarette after taking one step away from the
Have you got the suicide vest?
like one step away from Morrison's sight, and then Lily comes up.
Yeah, barely gives you a second to breathe before she grabs you and disappears.
He's like, "Hey," and then he appears in the other place. Lily. Oh, that was fast.
Like, all right, Red Gang's all here for the murder.
What?
I was hoping to
Everyone.
be a bit more subtle than this. I didn't want to throw any of you into the deep end.
Sigurd looks around. What deep end?
It'll take a little while. I promise I'll do my best not to kill any of you.
Wait, what's going on?
Trent obviously will be here, so I'm sure most of you will be fine. You would recognize this guy as the person who were talking that you didn't recognize before from the council meeting.
Oh, the old man.
Mm-hmm.
Why would Trent be protecting us?
He might not need to. I just know more about him than the rest of you. And I know that he's the only one I'm a little bit scared of.
Am I there?
Yeah, you just got warped here by Lily.
Oh.
She doesn't even ask anymore. She just kidnaps you.
Also, super minor aside, I assume there's no cell service on this island?
No, correct.
All right. Well, it looks like we're in the deep end already.
What mean deep end?
Means weird trouble business, Red.
I think she smiles a creepy little smile.
We gotta get you some slang dictionary or something.
I was in the middle of a delicate electric engineering operation. Though. Why am I here?
Mm-hmm. That was important.
Yes, old man. Why we here?
I've been following all of you.
No shit.
I've been watching what you've been up to.
Okay, that's 2 mistakes in a row. Watch out, man. Third one, you're out.
Could you at least send me the other copies of the books that are hard to find now?
It's just
All right, I'm just confused. I just assumed he was creepy. Why are you following this?
Because you've all applied. You've all put effort in twice over to see fit to protect this city. And he gestures across at the skyline over the trees in the distance. I wanted to have more chance to see what you'd do, to see how you'd go from here, to see how persistent you were.
Well, I'm not making better tools to make better horseshoes.
He keeps glancing up
So-
at the sky. Go on, what were you going to say?
What is this, old man? An appeal to nobility in a vacuum? What do you really expect that's gonna get you somewhere?
No. Seeing as I've not had a chance to see for myself, I'll just ask. You gonna keep taking the fights to the scum in the blocks?
No, because that would be immoral and against the law and against our what do you call it? Pseudo probation.
It's not pseudo.
He starts snickering.
You want to start. You want to stop me from fight. You best take me out now, old man.
No. It's kind of the other way around, Sigrid.
Who are you and what do you propose?
I don't have a
This
name
is all in
anymore.
Old Norse,
Oh,
by the
Old
way.
Norse, okay.
So Audrey has to.
She will. She wants to know who you are and what you propose.
You can call me Graham. Or Mr. Jones. Or Old Man.
Old man
All
Graham
right,
Jones.
old man.
I'm proposing helping you carry on with what you started. I'm proposing helping you do it in a quieter way. I'm proposing grooming all of you to fight the threat that we face.
He's proposing grooming these teenagers.
Yep.
Should we call the police or something?
I mean, when you're his age, you gotta do what you have to.
Luke, question. This guy, was he at the courthouse?
He was. He spoke, he asked some questions.
Okay, so he's clearly an associate of Mr. Morrison.
Uh-huh. Or at least a high-level member of the Politburo.
Why would you want to do that? Don't you work with Mr. Morrison and the others?
Maybe he's a realist.
They
Not
have their own
everybody in the
things.
government.
Again, in Old Norse, I think Sigurd's like, I think this man Odin.
He's not Odin, she says out loud.
He Odin. He had glass eye.
Oh, he has got a glass eye.
So that's why you
even
trust
better.
him.
Are you sure this isn't robotic at this point?
Yeah, it will be, especially. Can Odin call fire from the sky?
Yes.
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 Like this. He points over at a tree. And it explodes. A streak from the sky comes down and hits it.
That's more
Beast.
Thor.
It is a bit.
Yeah, Odin could super do that, man.
In fact, yeah, he says, if I'm Odin, then I suppose maybe this is Thor.
Yes.
And then you can all roll perceptions if you like.
I don't even think Sigurd knows to even look for something like that.
I'm going to use luck on what I just rolled.
Oh. Might see something.
Probably not.
The Aesir
Poor guy.
threw fire from the sky at the command of Odin. I am in. This must truly be Valhalla.
Way to play into her delusions, man. All right.
What about for the rest of us? I don't actually know what's about to happen.
Success by 7, Audrey.
Mhm.
Success by
Same by me.
7, Guy.
On the nose for Tara.
Guy and Audrey notice the vegetation on the other side of the man. He kind of pointed across your whole group at the tree as it exploded. So everyone looked that way. But he just disappeared into the vegetation. He legit, like, sank into the ground. But it was more like the dense grass and, you know, like jungle shrubbery opened up to take him away. You could almost see a mound, like, disappearing into the background.
Well, that's creepy.
And Guy, yeah, you noticed that. It's almost like he got in a bush and took it away like a taxi. But for the rest of you turn around and the old man is gone.
Like weird.
I still say he's not Odin.
So he get back to us, I guess.
It sounds like he wants to help us. Maybe like suck less of this.
Well, this was a weird reunion.
People we combat reflexes, enhanced time sense.
Yeah.
There is a projectile approaching you from where the tree exploded. The smoke and dirt that's still landing around it. Seems to be a spear of some type. It is heading directly for one of you.
Ooh.
It's Lily. It's heading directly for Lily.
Oh.
Can I
Um,
sacrificial dodge into it?
Can I just grab it with a modular combat skill appropriate to the spear?
I will allow that, yes.
I mean, there's also always
power
my-
warp.
my power warp.
But if
Which
you've not got
it's
combat
half the-
reflexes.
I do not. If
Yeah.
is it half the ability? I have it at the instinctual level.
Half plus 3.
Half plus 3.
What about talents? Is it total with talents halved plus 3?
I believe reliable plays into it.
Not reliable. If you had a power talent.
I think talents add after. I don't know how reliable works.
Yeah,
I don't have
I think
talents in it.
talents might also. I also think talents might add after.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I think
they're
it's
like
half
combat
of the
reflexes.
talent.
Combat reflexes is like a talent for that.
Well, I believe I have my power dodge is 13 because that's what I believe it is.
I would need an IQ roll first to even spot it coming in the absence of IQ, in the absence of combat reflexes. Or
Okay.
enhanced time sense.
Perception.
Just an IQ
Right.
roll. You can see it fine. It's just whether you can react in time. Yeah. So you could attempt your own dodge.
I'll do that first.
Yeah, power dodge is basic speed plus 3 plus half talent.
Oh, basic speed?
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
it's a regular dodge plus half talent.
Okay, so then that's actually higher than that because I didn't realize it was base speed plus. Okay. Oh no, it is 13. I did that right. Never mind. Yeah, 13. I just kind of poof a meter away in any direction, up, down.
Uh-huh. It sails past her. Nope, because someone else is about to catch it as Lily disappears.
And save Sigrid from being hit by it.
Oh, because Sigrid started diving in front.
Good to know everyone's got my back.
Yeah, I'm sure old guy loves this. This
You're
is-
only way off the fucking island.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm sure Trent turns into like
It-
a boat
it
if
was-
you need him to.
It was totally pregnant. Well, yeah, but none of us know that.
It's a
What is that?
transcending.
Some sort of test?
Also, Luke, did you get that other PM?
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, I did.
One right above Matthias says okay. Oh, dogs.
But I think now is probably a perfect time to end it, as
Okay.
you hear like a laugh, like no, and I think all of you can recognize this person except for maybe Matthias, because he is a famous capsule player.
Nice.
So,
Yeah, capsule
And
isn't
Sigrid?
plural.
Oh yeah, Sigrid too.
We've probably made Sigrid watch some Capsule on TV.
Mm-hmm. So you might recognize him. Is pretty distinctive. He is a huge South American man. He's currently wearing his signature luchador mask that he wears when he's playing Capsule. And
uh-oh.
Oh,
he has got like a collection of spears on his back that look like toothpicks against his frame, practically. And he pulls another two out. And thanks for watching.
Oh,
We'll be back next week to see everyone die by Joe Smith.
Yeah, right.
He's like, you have failed the test, as he stomps your bloody corpses into oblivion.
But yeah,
The old man may try his best not to kill you, but I cannot make the same promise.
As Sigrid murders him.
Mi tintinea,
good luck with that. This is basically the Hulk.
sí, mi tintinea de destrucciones es
If only somebody had a grenade launcher.
no, mi censura de destrucciones es tintinea. Oh, I'm Luke.
How do you have?
Terribly.
you almost got it.
Almost got it.
Almost got it.
I'm trying to remember
You
something
get
I
a-
had to say.
You get A for effort.
A for effort, nice. Oh, I think that's the best I've ever got for anything. And the GM. Sorry, my mind blanked on this session, but we got it out of the way. Things didn't go exactly how I'd hoped they would. I don't know, but I think this will be all right. I'll enjoy smashing you all with Destructor. We had Terra,
Hey,
Chief Vigilante.
Terra. Why am I the one in charge? Just because she was kind of the one in charge.
You're just
You have the
perfect
teleporting
scapegoat.
car.
Guy doesn't
So you got
exist.
caught.
Yeah, you got caught. You're the one who stepped forward.
But yeah, I'm Tara. I play Lily. She is having family problems and getting arrested. Kind of.
Yeah, we had James.
Hey, I am James. I played Sigrid. Sigrid does stuff.
We had Lee.
Hi, I'm Lee. I play Audrey, and she saw too much today.
You saw too much. Too much. We had Z Warrior.
hey, I'm Warrior playing Trent. Itching to see what happens with the spears next session.
Gonna get turned into chairs, probably. We had Jared.
Hey, I'm Jared. I played Matthias. Matthias has become, an unofficial collaborator with the secret police.
Yeah. Yeah, that's maybe a dysphonism, maybe a euphemism. Remains to be seen. We had Everoth.
Hello, I was Everoth, and I was playing for you, Lucius. I was just being a sneaky little bastard.
Yeah. What am I gonna do with you?
Until you weren't.
Until
I
you
wasn't.
win.
I don't know how I wasn't.
Yeah.
He's still pretty sneaky, just not sneaky enough.
Yeah, the search was the problem. It were good enough to show that the security barrier was scary, but not that the vents were also trapped with more sophisticated methods.
Oh, darn it.
I felt bad. I felt bad when I was just like, yeah, vents look fine.
It was me who said that. It's a fair. It's a fair assumption.
Last but not least, we had Colin, time
Hi,
traveler.
I played Guy, yes, outed as a time traveler, not actually a teleporter. Be interesting to see if they actually accept him into this group with his overtly.
I am glad though that we now get to finally out a character mention this. Guy is a time traveler.
Yes.
But not using jumper time. Simply that his teleporting, his snatching, all of this is explained by him having just traveled through time briefly.
Oh, okay.
So it's
Nice.
this is how we should have done original Lily. The build of Guy is how original Lily ought to have been made. It is the way to hand wave going back in time 10 minutes and grabbing something different.
Cool.
And I'm pretty pleased with that. But thanks for watching. We'll hopefully be back on Sunday for Dark Visions. We'll be back on
Couple
Thursday
episodes
with
left of that.
Star Trek
Wars.
Wars. My goot. You and your Star Wars. Why don't you go and have a Star
Wars
Wars?
track.
You're talking to the internet. The internet cares.
Give me Stargate just to throw that curveball at you.
With a Kobold Cafe, you can find us pretty much everywhere at Kobold Cafe, except our website, which is thekoboldcafe.com. We only need like 4 subscribers to 100 on YouTube. Please do that. I would be so happy when we get our own YouTube URL. Until then, just search us. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye, 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 bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye. 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 Bye.